This is where we talk real, no filters, no cap. Straight to the top and we never look back. This is where we talk real, no filters, no cap. Straight to the top and we never look back. Leaders in the building, money on the mind. Leveling up daily, leaving limits behind. Pull up, tune in, it's time to get it done. The Millionaire Nurse Podcast has officially begun. Let's go. Tune in every week.
Let me tell you something. 10 years ago, I was terrified, not of the speaking stages, not of the contracts, not of building a company or putting myself on camera, and any of those things that people think are scary about being a CEO. None of that. I was terrified of one thing, blending a family. We had one grandchild between us, Or and I, when we got married. One. And I remember sitting with the weight of what we were trying to build. Two people, different histories, different children, different everything. And one tiny grandchild and 5 children who was going to watch us either figure this out or fall apart. But here's what I didn't know then. What I could not have told you standing in the middle of all that fear is that on the other side of the blend was the most beautiful thing I have ever built. Not just a family, a dynasty, a team, a life that looks like something I used to only pray for. Today, Or and I have a blended family of 5 children. We have 8 grandchildren who call me Gigi. 8. We have a bonus daughter and a bonus grandson who are ours just as much as anyone else. We all love each other, for real, not for the camera. We travel the world and we build businesses together. And the people inside this blended family, they are the people inside my business. Trey is my videographer, OJ is my photographer, my daughter Brianna is my makeup artist. My family is a part of my team. The thing I was most afraid of became the most powerful thing I have ever built. And today I'm going to show you exactly how that happens, because this lesson does not live in your family, it lives in your business too. Welcome back to the Millionaire Nurse CEO podcast. I'm your host, Dr. V, Dr. Viola Pierce, Doctor of Nursing Practice, CEO of VP Nursing, certified speaker, coach, and trainer, host of the Millionaire Nurse CEO podcast. And today, I want to give you something a little different. On this show, we help nurse leaders unleash income working from anywhere, building profitable nurse coaching, consulting, and service-based businesses. This is what we do here every single solitary day. And most days, I am in here talking strategy, talking frameworks, talking how to close a contract or build an offer or position yourself as the expert that you already are. But today we are talking about life. Because if we're going to talk about what a Millionaire Nurse CEO actually is, we have to talk about what her life looks like. Not the filtered version, the real version. The version with real estate investments and grandchildren who call you Gigi and a husband who has never once asked you to slow down. Now, I know what some of y'all are thinking. You're thinking, Dr. V, this sounds like a personal episode. I came here for tactics. I came here for the how-to. And I promise you, everything I'm about to share is going to make you a better CEO. Because here's the truth, you cannot build a 7-figure business on top of a fractured personal life. That is not sustainable. The foundation underneath the strategy is everything. And today, we are talking about the foundation. The person you choose to build a life with is also the person who determines the ceiling of your business. I want you to hear me. The person you choose to build a life with will determine the ceiling of your business. Or has never been my ceiling. He has always been my launching pad. And I don't say that to make you feel bad about where you are, if you are in a different place. I say it because somebody listening right now is trying to build a business in a relationship that is draining them. And somebody else listening right now has the right person beside them and they haven't fully leveraged that partnership yet. Both of those people need what I'm about to say. And hey, before we get all the way into this, if you are watching and listening and you're getting something out of this episode, go ahead and like it. Subscribe if you haven't already and drop a comment. Tell me, who is your aura? My sexy husband. Who is the person in your corner who has never asked you to be less? Drop their name in the comments. I read every single one of them. I need to introduce you to something that I call the blend fear. The blend fear is the voice that shows up when you are standing at the threshold of something beautiful and your brain keeps running worst case scenarios on a loop. What if the kids resent each other? What if there's too much history? What if we can't make this work? What if the blend breaks everything instead of building something? And here's what I know about blend fear. It is not unique to families. I watch nurses run straight into it with their businesses every single day. What if my colleagues don't take me seriously? What if I launch this offer and nobody buys? What if I charge real money and people say no? What if I try to step into CEO and the nursing world doesn't recognize me there? But the blend fear is actually built on one assumption, that things have to stay separate to stay safe, that the clinical nurse and the CEO can't coexist, that the mother and the entrepreneur can't coexist, that the wife and the visionary cannot share the same body. And that assumption is wrong every single time. What Orr and I had to learn, and what I watch my clients learn over and over, is that the blend is not the problem. The blend is the power. When you stop trying to keep every version of yourself in a separate box, when you let the wife and the CEO and the mother and the investor and the speaker all live in the same room, something extraordinary happens. The sum becomes bigger than the parts. And that matters, but it is not even the most important part of this story. Because moving forward together in marriage and in business requires something very specific underneath it. Most people never talk about what that thing actually is. Here's the mistake I see nurse CEOs make over and over. They build their business away from their families. They treat the business like a separate world, something that lives behind a closed office door, something the kids are not allowed near, something the spouse hears about in fragments at dinner. And I understand why. There's a professional logic to it. This is mine. This is a part of me that belongs to me. But actually, that separation costs you everything. It costs you joy. It costs you buy-in from the people who love you the most. And over time, if you let it run long enough, it costs you the very relationships you were trying to protect. What Orr and I built, and I did not even have a name for it when we were building it, is what I call the family firm. The family firm is not a cute concept. It is a real operating model. It is what happens when the people who love you the most become the people who execute your vision best. Trey is my videographer. He captures what I do at a level that tells the story because he doesn't just know my brand, he knows me. OJ is my photographer. The images he produces carry something in them, a particular truth about who I am and what this brand represents. Because he is not seeing me through a professional lens, he is seeing me through love, and love makes better art. And my daughter Brianna, she does my makeup before I step on a stage. My baby makes sure that when I walk into a room full of leaders, I look like the CEO that I am. That is not small. That is intentional. That is the family firm in action. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Dr. V, my family isn't interested in my business. My kids aren't asking to be involved, and maybe that is true right now. But let me ask you something. Have you invited them? Have you shown them what you're building? Have you let them see the vision clearly enough that there was something to be interested in? The family firm is real, and it is available to you. But a family firm only works when there is something underneath it that holds it together. And most people skip over this piece entirely. Here's what most people do not understand about a blended family. The word blended makes it sound smooth, like you put everything in and press a button and it comes out perfectly combined. That's not how it works. Blending a family means choosing intentionally, out loud, on the hard days and the easy days, to prioritize the unit over the individual discomfort. Orr and I had to build something I now call the Inner Circle Protocol. And it is exactly what it sounds like, a daily commitment. Not once a year conversation at a family meeting, a daily practice of choosing the people inside your inner circle, choosing to protect them, celebrate them, invest in them, and be honest with them. We started with one grandchild, one little person watching two adults try to build something, and that child and every grandchild who came after, they were watching, they were learning, not from what we said, from what we did. From whether we showed up for each other, from whether we chose each other when it was inconvenient. Now we have 8 grandchildren, plus a bonus daughter and a bonus grandson who are ours completely. And what I am absolutely certain of is that they all know they are loved because we modeled it. We did not just say it, we lived it. And Aura, I want to be specific here because he deserves specificity. My husband has never asked me to be less, not once. He has sat with me in the late nights and in the early mornings. He has watched me build VP nursing from the ground floor. He has traveled to countries where I stand on stages. He has held things together at home so that I could hold things together in the business. That kind of partnership is not on accident. That is 2 people who decided that one person's growth is both people's growth. Mutual love, mutual respect. Those are not just words in a wedding vow. Those are a business strategy. Now, I know what some of y'all are sitting with right now. Maybe you're thinking, I don't have that kind of support at home. Maybe your situation is complicated. Maybe the person you're with is not the person who is expanding your ceiling. And I want to be honest with you, I cannot tell you what to do with that. But what I can tell you is this. The inner circle protocol is not just for marriage, it is for your business too. Who is in your inner circle of your business? Who are the clients you actually show up for fully? Who are the colleagues and coaches and peers who are in the room with you when things are hard? Not everyone gets access to the circle, and the people you let inside it, they determine the temperature of everything. But here's where most people get stuck, and this is the part nobody talks about. Even when the family is aligned and the inner circle is protected, there is still a gap between where you are and where the vision actually lives. And closing that gap requires something I call the 4 movement principle. Here's the hard truth about building a business alongside a marriage and a family. At some point, every single lane is going to hit resistance at the same time. The business has a hard quarter. The family is going through something. The marriage needs attention. And you have to decide, are we pushing? Are we pausing? Are we pressing forward? Instead of pausing, Aura and I made a decision early on, always forward. Not perfect, not without hard conversations, not without moments where we had to stop and get completely honest with each other, but always, always forward. The forward moving principle is the reason we have 8 grandchildren who know this family is solid. It is the reason Trey picks up a camera with confidence, knowing the brand he's capturing is real. It is the reason OJ frames a shot with pride. It is the reason Brianna does my makeup before a stage, and it is flawless. When you move forward in marriage, you model something to your children. You show them that love is not a feeling that you wait for. Love is a direction you choose, and they watch you choose it every single day. They carry it in how they show up for you. That is not an accident. That is legacy being constructed in real time, in real rooms with real people. And I want to be real with y'all about the travel for a second, because when I say Aura and I travel the world, I mean it. We go to countries where I speak. We go to places for rest and for worship and for the kind of reset that you can only get when you step fully outside of the daily grind. And when Aura is beside me in those rooms, something shifts in the room. Because the world sees a woman who has built something whole, not just a business, but a life. And that credibility is not manufactured. You cannot fake that. You cannot fake the ease of a person who is fully supported at home. It comes through in how you carry yourself on stage. It comes through in how you negotiate a contract. It comes through in how you close. Now I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, Dr. V, is it hard to travel so much and still maintain the family? And I'm going to be real with you. Yes. There are seasons where the schedule is relentless. But here's the thing about the forward movement principle. It does not mean you never stop. It means when you stop, it is intentional. It is a pause on purpose, not a collapse under pressure. We travel for business. We travel for pleasure. We travel for each other. And every time we come home to a family that is whole because we choose each other in motion. Now, most people would stop this conversation right here, and that would be a mistake because I have not told you the piece that is quietly accelerating everything, the financial piece that doesn't get talked about enough in nursing circles. This is where it gets really interesting. Here's what nobody tells nurses about income. They teach you to think in one stream, salary, maybe a side contract, maybe a side hustle if you're ambitious. but one stream. And that one stream keeps you dependent. It keeps you in a position where one conversation with one hospital administrator can threaten everything that you built. Or and I made a decision at some point in this marriage that we were not going to be single stream people. We built a business, VP Nursing, coaching, consulting, speaking, training. That is one stream. But we also invest in real estate, and that is a completely different kind of income doing a completely different kind of work. Let me tell you what real estate investing does for a family. It builds equity while you sleep. It creates residual income that does not require you to be on a Zoom call. It gives your children and your grandchildren, all 8 of mine, a real estate asset to inherit. Real property, real value, real legacy. Real estate is not complicated. Real estate is patient. The nurse who is afraid to invest in real estate is often the same nurse who is afraid to charge what she is worth in her business. Because both moves requires you to believe that your resources are worth deploying. Both moves require faith in a return that isn't in your bank account yet. Now I know what you're thinking. Dr. V, real estate is a whole other world. I don't know anything about investing in property. I'm still trying to figure out my coaching business. And I hear you. This is not me telling you to go buy a duplex tomorrow. This is me telling you that a millionaire nurse CEO thinks in portfolios, not in paychecks. And once you shift that thinking, you start seeing opportunities that you were walking past before. What Orr and I have built together is a portfolio life, not just assets, not just accounts, a life where multiple things are working at the same time. The business brings in coaching and consulting revenue. The real estate builds long-term wealth. The speaking engagements puts us in rooms we would never have access from the bedside. And all of it feeds the same vision: freedom, mobility, legacy for 5 children and 8 grandchildren. And here's the thing most people miss, except for the people who are actually building this way. The portfolio is not just financial. The portfolio is relational. It is Trey behind the camera. It is OJ with the lens. It is Brianna with the brush. It is Aura in the front row at the keynote. The whole portfolio, financial and relational, is what makes the Millionaire Nurse CEO life actually look the way it does. And here's where everything I've been building towards lands, because I want to give you a framework that holds all of this together: the marriage, the family, the real estate, the business, the forward motion, all of it in one place. Something you can actually use. I call it the blend framework. And I'm going to break down every single letter for you and what it means, how it works, and exactly how Aura and I use it to run a household, a business, a real estate portfolio, and a blended family without losing our minds or each other. And here's the thing, this framework is too important to rush. And I refuse to give you the shortcut version of something that changed our lives. So here's what I need you to do right now. Hit subscribe, because part 2 drops next week. And that is where I hand you the full blend framework, letter by letter, with the real stories, the hard moments, the practical moves you can make today. Because the blueprint isn't just something you admire, it's something you build. In the next episode, we build. I'm Dr. V. I see